Making grape jelly.
These guys hate the cold weather.
Frank, myself, and the dogs are going down to pick some cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and eggplant. We don't have much of this patch left. If you watch my previous video, you'll know that. We have a good section here, but then right here is where, when we had a lot of rain, the water kind of ran down through and it laid pretty heavy, so they just didn't do real good. But there is some good ones in there. And then once we get to the top of the hill here, that's where we have it cleaned to, and that'll be the end of it.
Don't have to worry about these blowing up in my face.
Yeah. My knife stole.
The precision of LB. Look at that.
Frank and I just found a really weird one. It's like kind of purpley and white. I don't know if it cross-pollinated with the purple cauliflower. So then last but not least is the purple. This is, I think, about the last of it for this patch as well. So we have a whole new field of it coming on up above in the late season. So now we're moving on to Brussels sprouts. Get that one? Okay. Cut this one right here, it's a nice one.
You know what? Can you bend that?
Bend it the other way?
There you
like
go,
that?
right there.
Seems like every other time we come down here, we forget the loppers. Cut this guy, this is a nice one. There we go. This one's a nice one. And then so this is how we'll sell them after I get them trimmed up here in a minute. And then when people get them to their house or wherever they're going with them, they'll just take their hand and flick that off basically. Got it. Cut that one in front of it too. You want me to bend it back for you?
Yeah. Thanks.
Cut that guy too. That one's.
Why not?
Cut the whole line.
Yeah, right? They all look good. It's LB on a mission cutting.
So now I'll go through.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cut these leaves off without cutting the Brussels sprouts, which I seem to usually do at some point or another. Or cut my fingers. And that's it. Done. It's starting to feel like me and Frank could do this load in our sleep. We always start out with the cabbage, then cauliflower, then we get the Brussels, and then eggplant. Today we got 10. Still getting into some really nice ones. So we're gonna try and get some zucchini now. Frank actually already got a box. Working on the second. Because the plants are so big, it's nice if we can each go on one side. That way we don't have to strain ourselves. That's a beauty right there. That's exactly the size we're looking for. Our customers seem to like them pretty big, and so that's what we're gonna give them. In the heat of the summer, we'll pick this about every other day. Sometimes we could pick every single day if we're getting a lot of rain. But this time of year with the colder days and colder nights, and also not having as much sunlight because we've been having a lot of rain, we're picking them about every 4 to 5 days. And only getting about half the amount. Beautiful.
There's another box.
Here, I'll take that. Yep. So now we're going through the cubes. Yeah, you can take this one. Take that one and I'll take this one.
Oh, okay. You don't gonna get no bigger, you don't think?
No, I don't think so.
So I'll pick that then.
These guys hate the cold weather. Makes their leaves obviously get all brown. They don't like form quite right like these guys here. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the cucumber itself. Still tastes good. We didn't really expect to pick cukes, but we're gonna try it. That's why we have a box instead of a basket.
See what that looks like.
Let all those go. Yeah, that's good. Here we go.
Let's see what that looks like.
These 5. Now we're moving on to Gouda. These seem like they really didn't grow much. I'm getting one like every 3 or 4 plants. What's that, Frank?
Not much to be had.
No. Oh, there's one. Now we're bagging corn.
I'm covered.
I have a mask on my head just because I don't really like all the dust. It's blowing my way, especially today. Frank's pretty dusty too. And so how it works is obviously we have our bin full of corn. We turn on the auger and then I get it as close as I can to 50 pounds. I'll then bring it over here, stack it. Frank will weigh it and then we'll put it on the trailer, which then I'll tie it. And then the finished product is right there and ready to be hauled to the market. So how the scale works is if it's light, if the bag's light, it'll sit on the bottom. If it's perfect, it'll be in the middle, right there, just like that. And if it's too full, it'll be to the top. We like to have it at least to the middle and maybe even to the top. We advertise 50 pounds, which would be at that 10 mark right there. But we always put it at 11, which makes it 51. That way, there's never any problems. We always know we have at least 50 and no customers are gonna be angry.
That's what it looks like.
Now we're to the last step, which is tying. Oops.
Go, LB, go. Well, both came to the
Conclusion?
Thank you. That hurrying, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the deck if you want.
Oh, jeez.
Nope, no harm, no foul. But as soon as you get into a hurry, it's not worth it. Definitely not worth it.
Okay, so today we're making a bunch of things, but one thing here I'm doing is I'm making grape jelly. So what I have in here is I have grapes that I've already cleaned and I've cooked. I've boiled them for 10 minutes and then I strain them. My mom happened to give me this nice little bag instead of using cheesecloth. It's like a plastic bag. It's real thin mesh. And this is what I put my cooked grapes in. And here I can show you. Now this is all that's left is just dried grapes.
Smells good.
And I got all that juice out of that and plus this little bit in this cup. So now I go by the Sure Gel recipe. So I cook the grapes and this is my juice. I measured it out for 5 cups of juice. And then I have to add 1 container of Sure Gel. So we're going to turn this on. So I have to bring this to a boil.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm also going to add just a little bit of butter. It recommends in the recipe just to keep this from foaming. So let me get a knife. All right, so I'm just gonna, it says half a teaspoon. I'm just putting just a little bit of butter in to keep that from foaming. So we're gonna let this heat up. Get it to a boil. Okay, so we want it to be really, really hot. So that's 5 cups of juice, and now I have my pre-measured 7 cups of sugar. I'm gonna add to this. And you have to constantly keep stirring so it doesn't scorch. And you have to stir this, bring it back to a boil for 1 minute. And then you pour it into your jars. So we'll just keep stirring. You can still feel there's some lumps of sugar in there. But it's looking really good. We put that little bit of butter in. It's not foaming. We let this boil for 1 minute, which it's probably had about 30 seconds so far. So we'll just let this go a couple seconds yet. And then I'm going to take a measuring cup and I'm going to pour it into my jars and it's ready to go. So I'm going to take the jelly. Try to be as neat as I can. I wipe it off on the jar so I don't get it dripped all over like I am. And there it is. There's your jelly.
Cleaned up the inside of this, now it's not gripping it.
Okay, so now we're going to put the jars in the hot bath. So I had to wait till this came to a boil. Let me set these around.
We're going to use this
That one's a little shorter. Okay, so we only need to hot bath these for 5 minutes. So we're going to set this down
than we
in.
actually end up with when we just scrape up the side and we have oil left in the bottom of the pot.
Okay, we'll set our timer. 5 minutes.
Well,
take my jars out. Okay, so that is our jelly. It is done. It needs to set and rest for 24 hours at room temperature, and then it can just set out on your shelf. So the bag that we used to strain out the grapes was a polyester bag that we just got at our local grocery store. It's called Lotus Reusable Produce Bags. We were just very impressed with it, how it did not stain. It came clean just the way it was when we bought it. And you can reuse them over and over again instead of buying cheesecloth.